Welcome to the Harwich Bikeways monthly committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, September 19th at 5 p.m. Call the meeting to order. And for attendees, we have Paul Gazai, Charles Walkley, and myself, Fran Saluski. The first item on the agenda is the approval of August meeting minutes.
I approve them.
Okay. The next item is the committee vacancies. We have 2 vacancies. And just want to get the word out. If anybody is looking or anybody, is interested in the committee, we should have them fill out a form they can pick up either online or at the town clerk's office. It's called the volunteer form.
Okay. Did we lose 2 members?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric resigned.
Okay, Eric.
Eric resigned, and of course Andrew.
Forgot about it.
Mr. Absent.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the discussion of the vulnerable users law. Charlene put the article in the Chronicle. I think that was last month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great article.
Great article. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The interview was nice.
I spoke with Carolyn yesterday. She said that if I could get her a copy of that article, she would put it in the community center monthly newsletter. So I did that. Do you recall when we attended the traffic safety committee, the police officer said that we could use one of their big message boards.
Yes.
But he didn't say when or how or...
Nope. And I believe, wasn't it select board meeting? Member.
Yeah. The selectmen.
The new selectmen.
Yes. I know.
We all know them.
Yep.
But I don't know if that would be a good place on 28. But, they have one down there on the corner of 39 and 137.
Yes.
The lumber company there, Hinckley's, is going to have an event to recognize the police officers. So they got a message board up there saying, come to Hinckley's on Saturday for this event. And I would think that would be a good place for our message.
Sure.
I think 139 is a bike route too.
Oh.
I think it is. When you come down Long Pond and you take a left there that says bike route.
Okay.
Wonder who owns it. You think it's the town that owns that message board?
It might be. I think there's 2. I think the DPW has one, or there might be multiple ones, and the police department they're responsible for a different one.
Okay.
Because one is painted orange and one is painted blue. So I think that's what it means.
And the blue one's
And that's
probably
another idea that Carolyn mentioned, was to put our message up there. And I told her that we had been to a traffic safety committee meeting and we got the okay to do that, but we don't know when or who or how.
Now, is that event going on this Saturday?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been up in that area, so I haven't seen it. Again.
Another thing I asked was the message to go into the tax bills.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew, but Charlene said that the state or her husband renewed his license, and he got a little flyer in with his license about the vulnerable users law. So
I don't think I did know that. Yeah.
I mentioned Carolyn about putting one in with the tax bills, and she said she didn't know, she's never done that for any community center event. And so I asked her, who would we contact to do that? And she said the treasurer. She said the treasurer's the one who's responsible for sending out the tax bills. Are you familiar with who that is?
I do not know who that is. Yeah.
So
Because tax bills, well,
we just
we
got
just
one
got ours, well,
recently.
the double one, we owe one in November, but the tax bill
Right.
itself came out
For two
for
quarters.
2 quarters.
Yes.
You know, it
Yes.
came out back in May, let's say.
Yeah.
Whatever. No,
yeah. August.
July,
maybe.
August.
Yeah, yeah.
So you think that's the next one that's gonna come out is in August, or will there be one?
No, I think it would come out in,
February?
yes.
Okay,
So that might be a good time frame.
so we would have to come up with a message to put in that.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Charlene's on vacation, so I don't know what the message was that the state put in there.
Right.
So maybe that's something we could copy
Exactly.
and reuse.
Right.
So,
But we may have time to contact Charlene,
yep,
and I know she's
next
on
month's,
vacation.
next month's meeting, we
Yeah.
could, put it on the agenda.
And it might be
And
pretty
then
simple for
one
her,
of us
yeah.
could contact at that point,
Yeah,
and say, you know, because if you contact the treasurer, they're gonna say, well, what do you want me to put in it?
Yes.
So maybe to
Yeah.
have it in hand first,
Right,
and yeah, if I'm correct, it's like November 1st is our taxes are due, and that's the second one, so
yeah,
we won't receive one in the mail till like February,
I think that's right.
so we got time.
We have
Yeah.
time.
so we'll put it on
At
next
at
month.
least get it done before the end of the year.
Yes. Yeah,
Well, I
'cause-
put on the agenda a thank you to Charlene and a thank you to Alan.
All both deserve, yeah.
Yeah, they were
Well
both
deserved,
excellent,
yeah.
yeah.
The new OCRT maps are in,
Yes,
and we can, you gotta contact Paul if you want any maps, everybody.
yes, and also, not that, I mean, it dwindles down pretty soon at this point.
Yeah,
You know, Fran gave me a case of the Cape Cod Rail Trails also. So I've got plenty at home. You know, because he's, well, I don't want to steal his thunder. He's leaving.
Did you go biking today?
I did not go biking, but I put the maps out,
Oh, you did.
so,
I was wondering if that tree got.
yes,
cleared.
I didn't know if it was time to discuss that, but yes. We should thank the DPW. Not only did they remove the tree, they didn't just move the tree out of the way. It has been removed, I believe, because it
Completely.
wasn't
Good.
pushed off into the side. And you couldn't tell where it was, because I was trying to look for the exact location to show Chris how big a tree it was. It was a pretty good sized tree, but
Yeah.
I could not find it. So what a great job. So it had poison ivy. I mean, there was a lot of reasons that was a very nice thing to do, but just pushing a dead old tree out there doesn't help things either.
No.
Paul was saying that he could have probably gone down there on Sunday with his chainsaw
Yes.
and taken care of it.
But you'd be wrapped in
Town
gauze,
property.
Yeah. You'd have
Not-
poison ivy.
Oh, yeah. God
And if
forbid.
something went wrong,
And you got something in your eye while you're doing it.
Yeah, right, you know, it's like.
Because
yeah,
I could have done it too.
And Link's been very supportive, like I
Yeah.
said, and I love pictures, pictures tell it all, you know? And, no, when I got that picture from Fran, it was like, and he reacted the next day. He somehow would just tell his guys, go do it.
Yeah, he doesn't just do the minimum amount. It's
No.
truly nice. It's
So you didn't see any evidence of the tree?
I was walking, so I went by it and I said, Krista, well, I think it was back there. And I said, well, when we come back, I'll make sure to locate it. I couldn't find it.
Oh, so they must have taken it all away.
Yeah.
I thought they would have just shoved it to the side.
I would have thought they would have cut it up because it was an old dead tree. It wouldn't be uncommon to put it out there, but it's nice. It's nice that it's gone. Right.
So
What can I say?
I'll take an action and just send
Yeah.
Link a thank you.
Because whoever did it, you know, went the extra mile.
Good.
Do
and then-
we have a new business item on there? I know you have to print things, but
In the business.
can you bring up new business that wasn't on your agenda?
Yes.
Do you, I have something, but I will wait till
Okay,
maybe it's a better time for you.
okay. The only other item I have on the agenda is plans for the future meetings.
Yes.
I'm going to Florida at the beginning of October, and we'll have to go to the virtual meetings. I was going to ask Alan if he wanted to chair next month's meeting here, but seeing Alan's not here, I guess we'll just plan on going virtual for the next, unless Alan wants to do one.
Right.
So what would you like to say?
I like the virtual meetings.
Yeah. So the virtual meeting, the Zoom meeting will take place on when? Well, of course, it's always the third,
Yeah,
whatever the date is.
yeah, third
Yeah.
Tuesday,
You want me to give you the date?
yeah. Oh, I have October 21st.
I don't think so.
No, definitely not. That's a Friday.
The third Tuesday be the 24th of October. So
Sorry.
I bring this up for discussion. I realize that we have to put it out, but it's something we can all think about and weigh in on the next meetings. Be a way to get it out there. While I walked from town hall to the circle, and it was interesting because it was the most dangerous use of the rail trail, the old Colony Trail, because I almost got hit by a car.
Oh.
So the story was I was coming back from the circle, and there was a lady parked along the side of the trail. And there are a few dirt roads that come down there near that, so that's not totally out of the question. And I just said something to her pleasant, but she didn't respond. Let's put it that way. And anyway, so Chris and I were walking, and all of a sudden we realized she was driving. She turned around and was driving right at us, going up towards the cemetery. And I put my hands up like this. She just sped through, and it was close to us. And we were thankful. We kind of looked at each other, and we were thankful that we had realized she was coming at us, and had she, so I don't know what was necessarily going on. It was folks of my ilk, older generation folks. And so we continued up, and other people, they had gone by other people. And I was worried when they get near 124, there's those bends there you don't see around, and the speed she was going, it was going to be hopefully nobody there. And I think there's a bollard up there on 124, plus I don't think there's any way to get out. Well, I didn't think about the cemetery, and I guess she turned at the cemetery and left that way. But it brought up in my mind there are people that would like to see us get rid of the bollards
Right.
on the rail trail because people occasionally run into them or
Right.
they can be a hazard. And we all know that they're there so that people don't end up driving on the rail trail. And I guess my observation is, do they work? Obviously they didn't in this particular case.
Because they're only there at 124.
That's right. And, you know, there's lots of places to get on the rail trail that don't have the bollard. So
Right.
some are there, some are not there.
Yeah.
And if they really aren't functioning, I kind of do lean towards maybe we should get rid of. I have heard other stories about cars being on there. This did not end in any tragedy. There wasn't really very many people out there. I know the police officers happened to have responded. There were people in front of us who called the police, and boy, they were right there. And they were talking off the side of the trail by the cemetery. And there was a car there too, who maybe also saw that car from the cemetery. I don't really know. But I went up and told them too. So
You need either more bullets or remove them completely.
I guess
she took a hard left, right on the trail.
she was facing towards the circle. Okay, when I went by her, she actually turned around like a K-turn and then started right up the trail. I thought she was going to maybe turn around. There's a couple little roads.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, she's just going to go up the other. I actually drove down one of those roads because when I was going to put maps on, I thought, well, it would be a shorter walk.
Yeah.
Bell's Neck is one of them.
Yeah.
Bell's
Yes.
Neck Road is one of them.
Bell's Neck, but there's a lot really when I stop and think. Like, there's a lot of bollards too, but I don't know. The stories that I've heard are people that end up there because they don't know where they're going and they're following the GPS and they end up on that. That was a story I heard from Bernie, the police officer, not police officer, but
Yep.
the ranger told me that this couple had ended up on there that were following their GPS. And
I'm in a lake. I'm following the GPS.
But there's no I don't know what was going on with this car. I don't know. I mean, we kind of know the speeds out on the trail because we're out there all the time. I'd say that car was going pretty fast. It's going more than 15 miles an hour, I'll put it that way. So and where they're going up that hill, that they have a pretty good line of sight both ways. But boy, up near 124, there's not good line of sight. So I could see very quickly that could have ended up tragically. And I could see, boy, there was a car, 2 walkers, and Chris and I, and they told of 2 bikers who had informed these people that was a bike trail. So it's amazing, really, how many people were sort of involved in this thing that occurred in 5-minute time span. So
Wow.
It's something to think about. And I don't know if a bollard, I don't know if we have any. I haven't seen somebody hit one, though I've heard of stories of people hitting them.
But I think we ought to bring it to Link's attention.
Yeah.
And maybe get some signage out there.
I wondered about, because I know people, the problem of putting up signage is now you have another pole for people to run into. Yeah. It's sort of, but I think that he would have a more professional answer than what we might have, for sure. And I do think that from my own experience, from time to time, I have to sort of, because I'm headed towards one. Yeah, you sort of forget about them being there or whatever. And I've never hit one. I've had to steer out of the way of them though.
Mm-hmm.
So make yourself a note to email Link, tell him that Charlie reported a vehicle on the trail. and the police responded. Maybe he could talk with somebody in
Yes.
the police department to
Yes, yeah.
get a,
Yeah. See, what we could do to avoid this maybe in the future. What is
Yeah.
his thoughts about maybe?
right, exactly.
Yeah. Or his thoughts on those bullets.
Because I know Bob Oliver said that he contacted the police in Chatham about any incidents on the Chatham Trail. And he said that the Chatham police do not record any incident, anything that they respond to on the trail unless the ambulance is called.
Okay.
So he said that they had no way of knowing if there was any incidents on the Chatham Trail.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, and I certainly food for thought.
Yeah.
That if there was,
Bring it to Link's attention.
you didn't
That's-
see what he's, I think yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
You know, that's our job, is to
Yeah.
It was right
bring-
near 124. I mean,
It was just off the circle where it's where it started. She drove up the hill going towards the cemetery. You know, and so she drove on it for half a mile. And boy, you know, that's that
yeah,
hill
when you
coming
say,
down.
when you say the circle, you're not talking about the rotary.
Yeah, I'm talking about the rotary, the bike rotary.
All the way down there.
Don't know how she got done. Because there's a place where the sand always collects, right?
Right.
That's a road. I drove down that road one day, and I was going to try to park there, but I realized you really can't park. There's no real place to park unless you park on the side of the rail trail. I didn't think that was appropriate. So
Right.
it was hard for me to turn around because I didn't go out to the rail trail to turn around. And so I realized, I'm not going to do that. So I didn't do that.
And this happens Sunday? When did
No.
this
Today.
Today.
Today. Luckily there was low use, but still, there's six
If
people.
I wanted to go to the Rotary, I would park on Main Street and walk
That's
down.
what I do, yes.
Walk down that path.
That's what I do. Now, I usually ride my bike, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Wow. Yes. Wherever she got on, whatever. And she went.
she didn't
had
go
to-
around the rotary
She didn't.
that I knew
So
of.
she just.
Her car was facing towards the rotary. Actually, there's a bench down there,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
She was parked alongside that bench. And I thought, there could be a lot of reasons somebody might be parked along there. If that's a memorial bench, maybe it was a family member, so people.
Driving a car on the.
Yeah, I didn't think that. That thought never occurred to me, that they were just driving along. I thought that they were there for some particular. Actually, there's a sign on one of those roads that says to Lavender Farm, so it must be an entryway to Lavender Farm, right? There's a sign there.
Really?
There's a sign there that says to Lavender Farm. So.
Was the GPS have taken her that way?
I don't know. I was out hiking a year ago around Lavender Farm area, and all of a sudden we came to a road, and there was a car driving down. It was a road with grass in the middle of it. It wasn't, you could tell sort of it was a road. And this was the road off of 124. So it's an unimproved road,
I guess it's like, how do you block
Yeah.
all these dirt roads? You
Yeah.
can't,
No.
you know?
And
there's a lot to be said about stupidity.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta know that you're
Well,
not on a
we're
road.
not, our job isn't to fix any problems. Our job is to report the
To let
problems
people know.
to Link
Yeah.
and let him,
Make.
right.
Yes, yes. That's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm.
Very good.
Wow. Wow. It's always a first, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen a vehicle. You know?
No, I've seen the,
Well, unless they were doing construction
maintenance.
works and
Yeah,
maintenance.
yes, I've seen that, and, but she had a fairly small car, but it took up the entirety of the trail. In other words, she wasn't driving on one side or the other, she was right down the middle.
Oh.
Wow. And as I said, she wasn't going slow.
The only other thing I have on the agenda under old business is to report any problems on the trail to Paul. And
Yeah.
Paul will get the link on it. Like that tree was really a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
And it was a funny thing, when we were coming back, there was a guy coming off the rotary, and I thought he was going pretty fast.
yeah,
And I says, whoa. And he looked at me and he said, what's your problem? I
yes,
said, there's a tree down that's blocking the path. He says, I can see that. And I didn't say anything else. But I wanted to say, if you could see that there was a tree, why are you going so fast?
I would say I saw it, and I saw that he had disc brakes, and I said, well, those work pretty good.
I thought maybe he was going to try to go around.
I did too. I thought he was, but
But
you and I both knew that he wasn't going to do that.
You couldn't go around.
You couldn't go around. It was all roots at one
Or
end.
he's going over.
Yeah, there wasn't, sometimes there's things in the path and you go around.
Yeah.
But I I wasn't quick enough. I was in front of you. I wasn't quick enough. And as he went by me, I was startled because he was, as you said. And then when he stopped, I noticed, well, he had disc brakes, and I thought, we're good.
I thought with all the people that were there trying to cross that tree, that somebody would have complained, but nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody took it in stride. They lifted their bike over the tree and went on their merry way.
Yeah, yeah. I was struck by that too.
I said, gee, that's what I like to see, rather than somebody get upset about it, like that woman who came to the committee meeting who was upset that people said on your left or sped by.
Yeah. We're just there to have fun, and if
It was a great day.
Mother
for biking.
Nature took a tree down and nobody was on that day, not that, riding.
We could have very well been first people, because Saturday it rained all night, right? And so Sunday dawned nice, and it may, we left at 8:30 on a Sunday morning, so it may not have been anybody any earlier than us.
There were people that had crossed it already.
There was,
Because
okay.
they took our picture.
Oh,
somebody.
That's true. I forgot about that, yes. Yeah.
So, and ask Link if there's an emergency number, or should we report something on, on an off time or off day?
Yeah, because that was on Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had called the DPW, but nobody was there, of course.
Yeah.
And I was, it's just the bike trail, so.
Yeah.
It's not really important, but I'd hate to see somebody get hurt.
Sure, all of us would be.
So I'll call the meeting adjourned.